6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann. And, of course, Carol Ann is our favorite master gardener. Good morning, Carol. We missed you last week. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Did I hear you tell Robin you had some tooth work or something?
Yeah, yesterday I had a tooth pulled.
And you still feeling it today?
It's a little bit just because it was a back tooth and tugging and pulling.
Wisdom tooth?
No, a molar.
A molar.
Yeah, a molar. It had been a broken tooth for a long time.
Oh, really?
And finally, within the last couple of weeks, started giving me some issues. I think another piece must have come off, and that nerve was nicely exposed. So,
that's not good. Yeah,
that wasn't fun. So it was one of those things. Get that thing out of there and. We'll deal with
one day
it
we'll
after.
figure out how to grow new teeth.
Well, it's all set up that they'll be able to
put a.
I can put an implant in it.
Yeah.
So.
Implant. See, that goes with plants.
Yeah,
plants,
it's an implant. They're going to plant it in my tooth. Yeah.
So last week we had a nice visit with David. David
Goodman came. Yeah, he saved the day for me last week when I had a reset at my store I had to do. So it was flipping tables around this way and that way and removing some. You know, you put 5 people in there, and it took 5 people 6 hours. Of labor. So we figured 30 hours by lunchtime. But it got done, and so we're still getting accustomed to it now that I'm back down to the store level and where everything's now has to go now that we got rid of a few tables for the summer. And it's one of those things that happens.
Yeah. In that business, you start the seasons earlier than the rest of us.
Right, because everything.
So now you got stuff for the fall.
Well, not yet. It's still summer plants, but when you're looking at it and we're thinking, and again, it's always that going forward, which is that's always a good thing to do is think forward. Don't live back
especially in retail, right?
Yeah, you got to go forward with things. That some of the stuff, it is still summer things, but we're going, you know what? We're only going to be having that, or that'll only be coming in on a regular basis for another 4 weeks, and then that's going to start to phase out. We'll sell through what's left of it, and these items will start coming in. And these items are just going to become lesser quantity, or we don't need to be ordering quite as many just because the temperature changes and seasonal changes and things like that.
It's an amazing world, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, you do have a phone call. Right. And by the way, everybody's invited to call. This is a full hour show, and we're right at the beginning of it, so this is a great time to call and give Carolyn a chance to kind of give you a nice, meaty answer.
There you go.
Or a planty answer. Maybe that's a better,
fiber-filled.
better adjective. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann. Are you there? Oh, whoever was calling decided to hang up.
I guess.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning. I'm calling to just provide some information. I'm with the Bernie 2016, the Bernie Sanders for President campaign.
Do you know you're calling a gardening show?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're calling a gardening show.
I thought this was a news show.
It is, but it's gardening right now. We're talking about gardens. If you want to get somebody on the air to talk about the campaign you're representing, call the office line at 732-8000.
Okay.
All right.
Do you do local news?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Yeah. Doesn't listen to the station very often, I'm sure.
Please.
Yeah, somebody says, here, call this one. It's in the phone book, says News Talk.
Please.
So we'll do that.
I mean, you see right through that stuff.
Yeah.
So annoying.
It can be. But no, with
No, it is.
It is, yes, it is. But we'll just skip right past that because we're just,
Can I tell you a fun thing I remembered this morning?
What's that?
Back in the long time ago, early 90s, I worked at WTMC, which was located on Magnolia, and it used to be, that location used to be a gas station.
Right, yeah, I was listening when you were talking.
About the Little Creek. Oh, good, so I don't got to repeat it.
Right.
And Alex used to play back there in the Little Creek when he was maybe 4, 5, 6 years old.
And I understand that was actually a spring.
That's what a guy called in and said that. I never knew that. That's a cool. I mean, it's a constant, tiny little spring.
Right.
I'm telling you,
it wasn't a lot. Just
The width of it was maybe a foot. Maybe not even a foot wide. I mean, you could step over it. Really. Alex used to play in it with his little Ninja Turtle guys.
Right.
All right. The phone's ringing. Let's hope it's not a candidate. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Yes, I'm calling in about Donald Trump. Just kidding. Yeah, I have a question about weed killer or grass killer and brush killer.
Okay.
I have a little bit of brush to do.
Okay.
And a small amount of grass.
Okay.
If I buy just a brush killer, will that work on the grass too, or is that not good for the grass?
Probably not going to do much to the grass. The actual brush killer, if it has a single ingredient, the triclopyr, which is a brush killer, generally it's not going to do much on grass. That's for woody, viney, hard to kill kind of things. If it was one that was a combination where it had the triclopyr, the brush killer, and a weed killer like the glyphosate, then it would do both.
Okay, good.
All right.
I'll buy both.
Yeah,
okay,
there you
thank
go.
You very much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was easy.
Well, that's the one nice thing about the one that is just strictly a brush killer. If you get reading the directions, it comes in handy. If you're trying to knock those vines off that fence or whatever, and you don't want to kill the grasses that are growing underneath it, it might yellow them, it might slow them down, but it should not kill them off. And it's just that the way that chemical works, it works on woody brush, blackberry, brambles, it'll do grapevines, it'll knock out small oak trees, brush kind of things, but not on the small, weedy, soft-tissued plants.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that vine I've got running through my saga palm is really annoying.
They can be, those vines can be really tough
annoying.
Because of the fact that they do get up and through and intertwined amongst the plants you don't want to kill, and you can't spray a brush killer on those either because your azalea bush is a brush. Yeah, it's the way those work, that you actually have to kind of try to get the vines out of there and then treat the vines separately.
Do you know what I want to ask you? Gosh, how do I describe this to you? Okay. In the parking lot over at Silver Springs, there are some palm trees. Okay. And the way they look, like they're the trunk of the tree is like lots of like palms that once were palm branches, but now they're like cut off, and so it's a tall thing, and at the top is this. And in my yard, I have a bunch of like it's a ground. It's the ground level palm thing, the same exact thing. But at Silver Springs, they're up above the parking lot.
It's a different palm.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So if I kept cutting mine, it wouldn't become that?
Well, I mean, if you say it depends. There's like the scrub palmetto, the low.
Let me find a picture of it.
It's hard to say because there's so many different palms and things.
That's
like
the one thing I'm wondering about.
Are these just sapling or seedling palms that are coming up in your yard that would eventually grow up, or which one do you have?
Right. Oh man,
that makes a.
It looks like, okay, I don't know how to explain this, but the palms that you get on Palm Sunday, that's what my palms look like.
Okay, just the single, like the.
And those sort of kind of do too.
Yeah, that's the sable. That's usually.
That's the sable up there.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's the sable, and mine, and the one on the ground is a sago.
Sago.
Okay, sago. Goodness.
S-A-G-O.
But the other one I'm talking about is neither that one nor that one.
And there's some that won't grow.
This one.
They just grow as a little bush.
Can I ask you to come here?
Sure.
Just look at this picture. This is the picture I'm talking about. Here, use my microphone when you're talking to me. So.
Okay. Yeah, those ones actually can grow up, because that one, of course they won't give you.
That's the one I have in my yard, but the one
if you were to take off
hold on.
bottom
There's another picture here.
Yeah, see, that's the same as, well, no, that's a pindo.
So what's this one? What's this one?
That could be a young.
Well, that's what I have in my yard.
That if you
it doesn't have that.
Off some of the fronds.
No, it doesn't have that bottom chunk.
Oh, it doesn't. So that one's just one of the shrubby. I would have to look them up.
Right.
Because they never give you the names of them.
See, that's not it either. That's not it either. Okay. But the one in Silver Springs, oh my gosh, it's a tree. Oh, I don't have one of them here. But this is the closest thing to it, except it's really long.
Right. Because this here's the Pindo, because that's going to have thorns on that back there further.
And
so that one's
not the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not real up on my palms on all that, because there's so many different ones. I really need to get a good palm book and get a little study in on it.
So look at this gigantic thing. What the heck is that?
That one's I think that's the pineapple palm.
It looks like a big gigantic pineapple.
It looks like a pineapple. The way that it's pruned. There's people out there that are really good with a chainsaw that get those to where they just look so pretty. And then you've got some of your multi-trunks, whether or not that's a Washingtonian or European fan. There's another. Looks like that could be a banana, the pineapple palm. But I mean, you see how many when you just scroll
down. There's so many of them, yeah.
So many different palms that are both, they could be indoor palms, outdoor palms, non-cold hardy palms, which would mean we're not going to have them up in this area. Then there's just those wonderful beach pictures with palms that make you want to go to the beach.
Right. I'm looking for the one that's in Silver Springs, though. I mean, in the parking lot.
Right. Well, we're just going to have to take a picture of it, and we'll do some
That's the thing. When I see these things, I always think of you.
Right, but you don't think to snap a picture.
I'm constantly doing show prep all week long.
Everything you're looking at, yeah. Actually become.
This is what I want. I want a coconut tree.
You want the coconut palm. Don't stand under a coconut palm. They'll hurt you. You gotta get down the keys.
All right, we got to go to a break. Gosh, I'm busy over here, and I'm not getting my break. All right, let's do the break, and we'll be right back. We got a good 40 minutes left in the show. If you want to call Carol Ann, you are invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. What do I got to do? Push this button? Okay. We'll be right. You think I never did this before? Here we go. Try it again. Here we go. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Watch for localized flooding. Today's high 85 to 89. Partly cloudy late tonight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, clouds will limit sunshine. Look for a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm or two. Tomorrow's high between 86 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When we buy a vacation, we're also buying a story. So even if the happiness bump from a vacation is long over, when we retell the story of how a pickpocket took our phone in Cabo, we get a happiness boost. Because with every sunburn, we're speeding up the skin aging process. When we skip the burns and apply sunscreen every day, we slow skin aging by up to 25%. Research shows that our biggest diet mistake is usually alcohol.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA The Source.
We are The Source, WOCA.
All right, 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. If you want to know what to do about that garden problem you've got, maybe you got bugs, maybe you got something not growing or looking kind of funky.
Anything you got. And today we always do the try to keep everybody up to date on mark your calendar kind of things coming up. For the Master Gardener, for the gardening, for the library series, that's the words I'm trying to get out. Soonest thing we've got coming up is at the Dunellen satellite, what we call a satellite plant clinic at the Dunellen Library, is August 4th from 10 to 1. Kind of one of those ask the expert kind of things. Bring your plant questions, bring those kind of things. It's not a set topic. And then on August the 5th from 10 to 11 is actually demonstration garden tours. So the Master Gardeners are supposed to be around on that day at the Ag Center Gardens to, if you have any questions and you want to see what's growing there and want somebody to answer some questions for you, because they have the shade garden there in the with the Taylor Garden. You've got vegetable gardens, herb garden, butterfly garden, the whole works out there, which are always, those kind of things are always changing, new things added, pruning, and things like that. So, and of course the Extension office is open Monday through Friday.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
Hey, Hugh.
How you doing? See, it looks like we're going to get more rain today and then through the weekend, according to the forecast.
Right.
The reason I'm calling is I drive and walk through my subdivision with my dogs, and I drive through it. And I've got a good friend that's out of town right now until probably the middle of August, and he's got St. Augustine grass, but he's got his sprinkler systems is working with all this rain.
Ooh.
Is there a possibility that he could be doing some damage, and I should contact him?
Yeah. I would let him know and have somebody, ask him, does he want you to turn that off? When we're getting this rain, you don't need that system on, and if the irrigation's going, it sounds like he may not have a sensor that will just shut it off, or if he does that, it needs maintenance, because those sensors do need like twice a year to change that sponge out, just replace it, just because they draw a sponge or cork, however, that float that's in there that shuts them off.
I know. After we had a big rain here the other day, I got in the car. I wanted to go see how the retention pond was doing, and I went by his place, and he had the sprinkler system was running, and it was still raining a little bit. Something's not running there, right? And I can contact him and go over to the well site and just turn the well off,
Right. Well, unless he's got his hot water heater turned off inside, I wouldn't just turn the well off. I'd find out how to. If he's got somebody watching the house to open and actually shut the sprinkler off. Would be the way to go. But you don't want, because if it's still, we have a quarter inch, half inch of rain every day, every other day, you sure don't need the extra water coming on. It's just going to keep the ground far too wet, causing possibility of root rots, just other fungal issues. It's growing way more, and it's probably not keeping up with whoever he's got mowing even.
Right. I since last Friday, I've measured over 5.5 inches of rain here. So we're getting plenty of water, But what do you say if it gets too much water? You get like a rot.
Yeah, you can get the root rot because it's not drying out, not getting a chance to drain as well as it should. Just other fungal leaf surface, issues. The grass does need to dry in between, and if it's going, we get rain at. Some seems to rain every day at about 10 minutes past 2, about the time I'm getting ready to leave work. And, that has a hard enough time drying that lawn out before it gets dark. I mean, when we do run our irrigation, we want to run it when it's finishing by like 6 a.m. so that as the sun comes out, it's drying that grass. And because it does actually take that long to dry that surface part of the ground. I know everybody says, oh, no, it's dried to a bone, but it takes a while to dry that grass out and that top little bit of soil.
I guess what St. Augustine can handle, it needs water, a lot more water than Bahia, and
Right.
it can probably handle more water, but still too much water is still no good, huh?
Still too much water is too much water. Right. It's just whatever. I don't know if he's got service putting fertilizer down or anything like that, but it's just, it ends up being too much. It's washing that away. It's just, whole myriad of different issues that can be brought up. We always tell people that if you're leaving for the summer, make sure you make arrangements that when the summer rains begin, you have someone who can go in and turn off that system. You just put it onto a manual to where if we need to have it, we go a week or so, and you really need to bump it for that St. Augustine lawn, which even then they can make it a couple weeks without serious rain, especially during the raining season.
Right. Well, right after the show, I'll give him a buzz. He's up in Ohio, so I'll let him know that he's watering the top of rain. So
yeah, and that gets a little embarrassing too. It's a little embarrassing, and it's wasting water. I'm sure he's on his own well, but still, that's clicking on your power too to turn that on.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he just forgot to adjust it because he's trusting his little rain gauge or what, but evidently something's not working there.
And it possibly wasn't raining before he left. We took a little bit later to get into a good regular rainy season. We were hit and miss there in May and early June. It took a little bit to finally get into that regular where pretty much everybody in the county is getting rain on a regular basis now.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in the middle of June when they left. Everybody else was getting rain except us over here.
And it was 93, 95 degrees out. Yeah, and it was so hot at that point you didn't want to turn it off.
Exactly. So, okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And you have another phone call. Great. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm looking for decorative grass that it's spiky and it turns pink in the fall.
You're looking for muley grass.
Muley grass.
Muley grass, yeah. You're probably going to have to hit the regular nurseries versus the garden centers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then another thing, I have a spot in my backyard that no matter what I plant in there, it starts growing real well, and then all of a sudden it wilts and dies. I've had a poinsettia in there. I've had an azalea in there. And my last one was a hibiscus. And it was going beautiful till yesterday. And then all the leaves, it had a yellow spot, but I picked off all the leaves that had turned yellow.
Right.
And then yesterday when I went to look at it, the leaves were just hanging down.
It sounds like it's a morning sun location, is it?
I would say about noon.
About noon?
11, because it gets a bit of sun.
Okay, well, that might be part of the reason why the poinsettia wasn't real happy there, and even depending on the variety of azalea, if it was getting too much sun for the azalea. But the hibiscus, if that ground is if it's got a lot of rock under there, if I know we have a lot of rain, but if is it getting rain? Is it?
That's what I thought. I went and watered it even with all the rain, and I watched it to see if it would perk up, and it didn't. So I finally pulled it out.
Yeah, it could be an issue. I'm not real sure. It could have a nematode issue in that area. There could be lime rock up underneath there that's doing something with the soil. You might want to do a soil test.
Okay.
All righty.
Should I just dig it out before I even think of putting anything else in
I would. Yeah, I would do a soil test at the extension, and I'll give that info when we come back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Gary Baumgarten. Basic freedoms, values President Obama addressing the African Union in Ethiopia says the continent must embrace.
The bottom line is that when citizens cannot exercise their rights, the world has a responsibility to speak out. And America will, even if it's sometimes uncomfortable.
The president also chastising African leaders who refuse to step down when their terms expire. The search continues for two 14-year-old boys whose capsized boat has been found off the Florida coast.
These kids can certainly survive for a few days. We will continue searching. We'll continue to hold out our efforts, but we're facing a very dangerous situation.
Coast Guard Captain Mark Fedor says that the two who went missing Friday were on a fishing trip. Three of President Obama's cabinet members, including Secretary of State Kerry, on Capitol Hill later today defending the Iran agreement. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Okay, so let me see if I get this straight. You want the truck with the most towing power, the most payload, that accelerates faster, stops quicker, handles better than ever, that works smarter, is loaded with a ton of new technology and tools, has best-in-class gas mileage, that doesn't rust, and has the government's highest overall safety rating, 5 stars. Have I got that right? That's all you want, right? Everything? Okay. What color? This is the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body Ford F-150, and this changes everything. Built Ford Tough.
Towing when properly equipped with available 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 4x2. Payload when properly equipped with available 5.0-liter V8 4x2. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR. EPA estimated fuel economy rating of 19 city, 26 highway, 22 combined MPG, 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 4x2. Actual mileage will vary. Government 5-star safety ratings are part of the U.S. Department of Transportation's new car assessment program, safercar.gov.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Who doesn't love heading out on the boat with a family, hitting the ATV trails with friends, or blazing new stretches of highway with riding buddies? Your toys are your ticket to outdoor fun. At the McDonald Allstate Agency, we get to know you and help make sure you have all the right coverages. Plus, when you bundle your coverage for your car and your home with your boat, motorcycle, RV, or more, you can save up to 30%. So call the McDonald Allstate Agency today at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations at Calla Hills or the Jasmine Square Plaza.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line and a new spoiler and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. We got a full 25 minutes left of In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. It's 77 degrees, by the way. We were just looking out the window to see if it was going to rain. Right now, the forecast says there's a 100% chance it'll rain today. So it went up from 80 to 100.
And it did 100% earlier.
Sorry,
so, okay. It was 100%ing earlier. So.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It had a light rain. The caller that at the bottom of the before the break there was was having a problem with a plant in a certain area. Well, with a couple of different plants, nothing seemed to want to grow there. It would grow okay and then just begin to decline and die off. And I suggested she have a soil test done. And here's a good time because the 13th of August will be the next time that they'll be doing soil testing at the Extension office, and it's also be the last time you'll get one before the Fall Gardening Expo, Fall Vegetable Garden Expo in September. But to do a soil sample, and this is something that's kind of hard to do this time of year, but you can do it. Take your container out in the area and take your trowel or your shovel, dig down at least 6 inches, if not about 8. Take a little bit of soil out of the bottom of that. Put it in a container. If you're doing a big garden plot, you might try this from different areas. If it's just, say, a small 3-foot by 3-foot area, two little places, just so that you're going to end up with about 1/4 to 1/2 a cup of soil. Take it inside and dry it. Spread it out on paper towel, paper plate, newspaper, something. It needs to be dry, 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 dry. That is number one. They don't want it coming into them in plastic bags because any moisture that is there will be held in there.
Okay.
And so you might go to the local Jiffy store and get you a little brown paper bag, that you would get a single drink that they could bag up, or even go over to the Ag Center. I believe they will give you a bag. It's $2 for the soil sample, but they will test for pH. And if your pH is really off one way or the other, plants won't thrive. If it's off just a little bit, they're going to do okay, but they're going to need a little bit of boost in how you fertilize them. I wouldn't worry about sending samples up to the university unless you're looking to do a serious changeover on your fertilization, a whole lawn thing, a whole landscape thing, because just the results you're going to get would be more in depth on the nutrition and things like that. But your pH test can tell you quite a bit. She might want to take a look at that. When she digs up, I think she said it was hibiscus was this last plant that was in there. She might, when you dig that up, take a look at the roots, see what they look like. If they don't look smooth and root-like, but they look gnarly or knotty and things like that, take a section of that, cut it off, take it over to Extension and let them take a look at it. You may even have a nematode problem, that you've got 3 different plants that have succumbed to things. I think poinsettias are a little bit susceptible. I think hibiscus can be susceptible to nematodes. And take a look and see what that might be before I would put anything else in. That, or one other option would be to sink a very large pot in the ground and fill it with a potting mix, with a sterile potting mix, then plant your plant. And that way you've got good clean soil, at least for a while. Eventually pests or disease can find their way in. But it's that's one way to do. But just going on to that Vegetable Gardening Expo today, yes, I wasn't a lot to do in the garden because it's rainy and we are solarizing there at the Ag Center. But I went and picked up some seeds to go with some of the stuff I already have. And we've talked about this before, but on planning on things like for the garden, kohlrabi, interesting vegetable, grows above ground, sort of looks like a space alien, actually. Can be eaten stir-fried, raw in salad, cubed up, nice crisp, cool texture kind of thing, like a water chestnut. And the planting dates on this are, let's see if I can read them, January to March, so definitely cool season for us. But then again, we have the August through September, so you get that late summer, very early fall kind of planting. These are going to take 55 days from harvest, so you're counting backwards or counting forward of when you're going to put them in. There's seed are very tiny, so you could start them inside in little flats or little trays, little egg carton, however you want to do it. You're only going to plant them about 1/4 of an inch deep. They're really fine Really kind of interesting. Interesting plant. But they're tasty. And as they say, start indoors. So we're not worried about last frost, but watch for that. Another one I'm going to do here this time of year is spinach, and this one's a hybrid. Going to take us about 35 days from the time I plant it. So I can plant that about every week and a half or so, 2 weeks, and have a successive harvest over an extended period of time. Because again, August through November, I can keep planting this. And again, February through May. So you run through. So if you've got seed left over, don't worry, it won't go to waste. And going to do a fall corn. Usually March through May, most people think of that, but July and August, so I can get this in again and still get a good harvest of that before it gets too hot. 76 days from the time of planting. So you count up and go, okay, do I have enough time?
I always have to work in advance.
You work in advance.
That's a long time to wait for a salad, isn't it?
It can be, but you're successively planted.
Right,
and again, your lettuces are going to be coming into play coming into this time of year. Your carrots and things. But the Vegetable Garden Expo is Saturday, September the 5th, from 9 to 1. There will be topics going on, that there will be some talks out in the garden. I don't think they're doing any in the auditorium for this one. This is just a short one. Everything involved in it is going to be vegetables, herbs, edibles. So, and how to care for them, how to plant them, how to keep going with them, how to start a garden. So if you never have done one, or you want to do one this year, you weren't successful with your spring one, come on by, mark your calendar, set the date, and come out for an hour or so, and you'll learn something. Maybe I'll get a hold of what the topics are and who's talking when. I know I've got one, but I never remember what time.
Do you know, last week when David was here, he was talking about composting, and he was talking about fish
emulsion?
I think so. And he said that he would wait a whole year before he actually used it. That's a long time, isn't it? That is a long time.
Is that for his fish emulsion, do you think?
I think so. I think that's what he said,
well, maybe he's waiting for the odor to go away. I'm not sure.
That's what I'm thinking. It's really stinky.
It is. I've done fish emulsion homemade, but usually we would let ours sit for maybe anywhere from a couple weeks to a month or so. And as you were putting it out, you hear the neighbors slamming windows. It's the vultures start flying overhead, and I mean it stunk, but it sure did. The next day you'd come out and the plants have shot up and grown.
I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I feel like he said a year.
He may have let his go that long, and it may have even naturally deodorized. On it, just some of that, and concentrated the.
Well, and the reason I'm bringing it up because you mentioned about the alkaline and the soil,
right?
The chemistry of the soil. So does that change it when you put compost in? Does it change?
No, I mean the compost itself. If you're thinking of organic material compost, it can change it a little bit to the acidic side, but not usually much. Most plants thrive in a slightly acidic soil, up to just barely to the alkaline side, where 7 is your neutral. On your pH scale. 7 is neutral. Most plants thrive on a 6 to a 6.5. Once you get over about a 7.2 or 7.5, much smaller going up on that scale, they begin to have some more issues.
Oh, really?
You get further down on that scale, more acidic, again, you're going to have those same issues. What it does is it locks up nutrition, and the plant can't take it up, can't utilize it. It doesn't matter how much you put on the ground, the plant can't use it if the pH is that far off.
We've got to take a little break in just a moment here. The phone lines are of course open. We've got another 15 minutes left in the show, minus the looks like about a 2-minute break. So we'll take that little break right now. Your phone calls are an important part of the show. If you're doing some gardening or thinking about it or planting, or maybe you got an issue, this is a great time to call Carol Ann. 622-WOCA is the phone number, 622-9622. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is your host. She's a master gardener.
Yeah.
And I'll never understand this, but David said he's not a master gardener. He's an expert gardener.
I can explain it when we come back.
And is a master composter.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Right.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Watch for localized flooding. Today's high 85 to 89. Partly cloudy late tonight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, clouds will limit sunshine. Look for a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm or two. Tomorrow's high between 86 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
We are The Source, WOCA, news, talk, sports, and more.
All right, just about 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go to the phones. Carol Ann, you have somebody waiting patiently. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Carol Ann.
Hey, good morning.
This is Ann. I have a plant that's growing in my yard, and in the last issue of Florida Gardening, they had the plant in there, but they didn't tell you anything about it. They just showed they have the name of it, which I can't pronounce, but I'll spell for you, and they show the flowers.
Okay.
Well, I know it's the plant I have.
Right.
But they don't tell you anything, and I'm kind of discouraged with this plant because all of it's of the iris family, and all of the fronds, what do you call them, lay on the ground, and the blooms kind of come up in the air, but it just looks weird because it's like all sprawled out like, and this is how you spell it.
Okay.
CROCOSMIA, and they say it's a small genus of plants in the iris family, and they don't show the whole thing. They just show the flowers, and they're enlarged, so they look almost as big as an amaryllis, and they're not. They're more of the rain lily size of a plant.
Right, crocosmia.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
I think that's crocosmia. Let's see if I can look that up real quick.
Have you ever seen it growing? Because mine, I have all these fronds just laying on the ground, and it's beautiful blooms, but of course they're a lot smaller than in this photograph. And that's one thing with this magazine, they don't tell you about things.
They don't always mention. Are they an orange bloom?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, mine are more deeper orange than actually in the photograph.
Okay, it looks like that they're actually, it says a form of a gladiola. Trying to see if we find it. I'm looking to, just running through because I brought it up on just on Google instead of under the Florida.
Yeah.
But it's not coming, a lot of times Florida will come up as one of the first options just because of where we're at. They're saying easy to grow bulbs, but I'm trying to find out where with them laying down. I'm thinking we might be too wet for them. Plant them 2 to 3 inches deep, 8 inches apart.
I've just never seen a plant just do like that. Just now, like I grow that rosin weed, and it was standing up tall, but then we got some really severe wind here, and from the direction it came, it blew and blew so much till they aren't laying on the ground, but they're, because I have another plant out there that I don't think is ironweed, but was sold to me as ironweed. But anyway, that is doing the same thing. From the wind blowing it, it's
just blowing it down versus that it's just not able to stand up on itself. I'm wondering if our temperatures, even though if that was in Florida Gardening Magazine, that's unusual that they don't have something in there that would be hardy enough for us, because they're saying it can handle the temperatures to a zone 5 or 6. Which to me puts it as something that might have a little bit of an issue for us when it comes to to temperatures for our area.
Right. Well, this is from the Mott's Garden, which I think is in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
Article on that, and like it's showing amaryllis and showing people planting amaryllis, but it doesn't tell you anything about this plant other than that. It doesn't show you growing. You just see this spray of flowers, which are kind of deceptive because the flower looks like it's pretty close. Well, it's not close to the size of the amaryllis, but it's much larger than
what
the flower actually is. It's a huge spray. It's not just like the amaryllis.
Right, where it's a single flower. Right, these are much larger. Right,
and they're very attractive. It's a beautiful thing, but I don't know. I'm getting annoyed with it because I have it in what I'm considering now my rain garden, but I don't know.
Okay, right.
Because depression in the soil, and also I have a lot of clay soil in that area.
Okay, because these are another site just looking up says a warm Mediterranean type climate, which gives you Mediterranean is usually a little more moist in the spring than what we are. But I'm not seeing of why they're not, especially if you're talking about, like you say, Mott Garden down south, zone 6 through 10. It should be doing all right. I'm wondering if it's spring is the time to plant these late summer blooming perennials when the ground soft. With us we don't have to worry about soft and fertile.
I had them last year when they bloomed. But I think I planted them the year before when after the Master Gardener sales.
Right.
I don't know where they came from because we bought so many plants that when we got back we didn't know who got what plant. So
okay.
And I planted it and it kind of was laid over and I thought, well, it'll stand up, but it's never stood up.
Right.
I don't know what to do with it. I'm kind of annoyed with this gardening magazine because they don't tell you much. They just show you these photos, and it's not like it was before.
And make you go look it up because they figure that more people are on computers nowadays than.
I'm not on a computer, and I get this magazine because I want to know about what grows here and how it grows. And if they would have even shown the whole plant, I could have seen if the fronds were. But now when you say gladiola, the fronds, if that's what you call them, are kind of like gladiola when I think about it.
Right. And it's got a couple of common names. What I can do, I wrote down the names of them as I can look a little further on it and just see why. Sounds like they're just that they just are too tall that they may need support. Even occasionally, the gladiolas will too.
Because I don't know, they don't. It's not like now the rosin weed. It has a true stem coming up.
Right.
So I've given them support. I'm pulling them back up because last year they leaned the other way. I guess we had wind from the other. But
From
this
the
year
other
they
direction.
were up, so we got that terrific winds that we had, really strong winds.
Right, right. Native to tropical and southern Africa, formerly called Tritonia, related to Freesia. Sword-shaped leaves, basal clumps with small orange, red, or yellow flowers, bloom in summer. But they're not saying why. They're saying 2 feet tall, most of them 4 feet tall. Some of the varieties could just be the size, is that they just fall over.
I guess. I don't know. I'm going to move them somewhere else where it doesn't make any difference if they lay down. I mean, it's just
right, or you may need to put a hoop around them to where it just holds them up. Put a tomato cage around it when they begin to come up out of the ground in the spring, and maybe the foliage will hide the hoop. During the season.
Some tomato cages around here, I think. Still.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
That'd be the way I would go with them, and just let them. If they're blooming where they're at, they're happy. They're just so large. They're just so tall that they're having a difficult time standing up on their own. And if you get wind through there, that's just going to take them down.
Yeah, because that rosin weed leaned way over, and it was standing up tall. But it's a bigger. I have a small rosin weed, evidently up by my house. It's much smaller. But this, I don't know if they have giant rosin weed. They do. I have giant. Taller than me.
Right. Oh, wow.
It's got the up on the top. So with that wind, because they were standing up before we got one of those days where we got some really heavy winds, blowing winds out. The ones that blew trees over.
Sure.
So it bent these small, tall plants over.
Right. Yeah, I would just put, if they're blooming like they should be, I would just put a hoop around them.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Well, like I said, this magazine isn't as good as it was before. It was more user-friendly to people. It's more formal. I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
No, it's not like Florida.
No.
Gardening one. And that's why I loved it, because it was Florida gardening, not gardening in Minnesota.
Right. So.
Which would be great if we had all those conditions in our summer here, but
but we don't, and our winters are totally different, and everything else. So,
okay, well, listen, thank you. I've never seen it before. When it first bloomed, I thought it was blackberry lily, but
okay, right.
Said no, it's not.
No, definitely not. All righty. Well, you have a good day.
Okay, and I'll see you at those different things I plan to go to.
Sure.
To them.
All righty. Bye-bye.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hey, Carol Ann and Larry. It's Lauren. Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for your show. Hey, I just want to do a shout-out to Ann. Don't worry about a little plant blowing over. I had a 25-foot tree blow over 3 weeks ago, so... these winds are pretty tough to stand up to, but yeah. Oh, luckily it didn't hit the house.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So, that Florida gardening magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally different now, right? It changed over. It's got new owners, and it's really, really different.
Yeah, that's what she was saying, just not quite as user-friendly.
Right. It's more of a commercial kind of magazine now. So, somebody will have to take that on and put out another true Florida gardening magazine.
Yeah, maybe somebody will. Oh, well, somebody give me a couple extra days in a week and hours in the day.
A few dollars.
A few dollars to go with it.
We'll work on that, Carolyn.
There we go. Might be a future endeavor.
There you go. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Wow, what a good show today.
Yeah.
Another good one. All right, so, what do we need to know? Do you know, I have a $20 gift certificate for Bob Wines.
Yeah, I know.
So we need to give it away.
We should give it away.
I really don't have a chance to ask my very thoughtful trivia question that I had. Wink, wink. I didn't have anything.
Didn't have anything.
So let me give it away. Call me if you want it. The first person who gets through gets it. It's $20 for Bob Wines. Good morning. You got the gift certificate. Who's this?
Oh, this is Robin. I was calling to get a call in to Carol Ann, but I couldn't get in through.
All right. Well, we're out of time, but you just won $20 for Bob Wines. You can talk to Carol Ann off the air.
Or I can call you later. You can call me later.
All right, thank you, Carol Ann.
Thanks.
This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Gary Baumgarten. Addressing the African Union in Ethiopia, President Obama admonishing leaders who don't leave after their terms expire, then joking.
I actually think I'm a pretty good president. I think if I ran, I could win. But I can't.
Mike Huckabee taking it a bit more seriously.
Leaves the keys on the table. I feel confident that any one of the Republicans who will be on that stage in Cleveland will take those keys and do a much better job.
On the Fox Business Network, defending the Iran deal on Capitol Hill.
Secretary of State John Kerry, Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew, and Energy Secretary Ernest Moniz will testify about the Iran agreement before the House Foreign Affairs Committee.